Welcome on the chosen one shift. You know what it feels like, right? A deep and disturbing lack of harmony. The confines of your existing reality are starting to seem less like a safe place and more like a prison. The people around you are beginning to appear less like friends and more like ghosts from a show that has already finished. The air you breathe tastes old and stale, with a slight metallic flavor that comes from promises that have rusted and broken. You try to pray it gone, this sense of being a total stranger in your own life. You've attempted to tell the unhappy people that they're being ungrateful, yet they keep being unhappy. It becomes bigger. It's a sacred aching, a heavenly longing for a place you've never visited, but that your soul knows is where it belongs. This isn't an assault from the devil. This is the Holy Spirit. The divine eviction notice is being served on a lease you never signed with a world that was never designed to retain you. The title you read is not a guess. It is a royal announcement. The one who was chosen. God told you that you would soon leave this location. Take your soul with you, but leave your bags behind. Your exodus is not going to happen. It has already been decided. First, they can feel the change in your energy and are freaking out. They can tell you're leaving. The people who built their empires on your emotional work and made their identities on how available you are now feeling the tectonic plates of your soul moving under their feet. They're sending frantic last-minute check-in SMS. They're making plans that aren't anticipated. Let's get back together for lunch. Their invites aren't because they adore you. They are spiritual fishing trips. Desperate hooks are thrown into the seas of your soul to discover whether you are still tied to their pier. They need to check that their source of supplies. They still have authority over your light, your tolerance, and your forgiving. But the unction within you has already turned off their phone. It's not disrespectful to say no, be busy, or provide a vague another time. It is God's sovereign hand, clearing your way, cutting the cords that have been holding the puppet for years. You don't have to worry about their anxiousness. It is proof that your freedom is their hunger. You're not being chilly. You are thinking about conservation, keeping every last drop of your anointing for the promised land that lies ahead. Second, the people and things around you are deliberately rejecting you. Take note of the signals, including when technology suddenly stops working for no reason. When you attempt to use antiquated methods, the contracts that unexpectedly fall through at the last minute to protect you. The doors that aren't simply shutting, but slamming shut, are doing so because you're being pushed away, not because you're being rejected. The spiritual fabric of the place you're in right now is pulling away from you because your vibration is no longer suitable. You are a 5G spirit in a dial-up world, and the system can't handle your data anymore. Don't try harder just because you're frustrated. It is a holy force field that is pulling you out of a prison of vibrations that can no longer hold the brilliance that is growing within you. The breakdowns are not problems. They are breakouts. Every time anything goes wrong, it's an angel's intervention, a well-placed impediment that keeps you from making a permanent home on a branch that is about to be chopped down. Third, they're trying to make you think that you're the issue. They won't be happy about how much you've grown when you draw away. They will make it seem like a disease. They will say that your tranquility is arrogant. They will call your new limits selfishness. They will say that your heavenly dissatisfaction is sadness and your holy separation is pride. They will get together in quiet groups and talk about how worried they are about how you've changed, not realizing that the caterpillar doesn't care what the jar thinks. When it's time to turn into a butterfly, their claims are not judgments of your character. They're spells of terror meant to make you smaller so they can handle you. The tears you may weep are not tears of uncertainty. They're the liquid dregs of the old identity they gave you that is being pushed out of your soul. Their words don't reflect what they say. They're a museum showing the version of you that has already perished. You're not going crazy. You are breaking free from the bonds that kept you tied to the thoughts of people who were never intended to see you fly. Number 4. God is cutting out every unclean soul that is holding that connection together that you imagined would continue forever. The one that seems to be coming apart at the seams. Conversations that seem forced. The link is now dead and empty. This isn't a tragedy. The heavenly surgeon made this cut for a reason. God is not hurting your heart. He is breaking the evil agreement that tied your fate to an anchor that was meant to sink to the bottom of the ocean. You are not being abandoned when you feel lonely later. It is the holy space that must be made for a new divine relationship to grow. He is getting rid of the individuals who are only there to fill in the gaps, so that the destiny mates, heavenly connections, and God-ordained alliances may take their rightful places in your life. The vacant space at your table doesn't mean you don't have enough. It is a special area for the kings and queens who will be eating with you next season. You're not alone. You are being protected for a glory that can't be tainted by divided loyalties. 5. Your dreams are now in a new place. Pay attention. Chosen one. The things you see in your dreams at night have altered. You are no longer dreaming in the little chambers of your existing situation. Your spirit is getting ready for the promise. You're strolling across fields that are quite big. You are moving across new cities with incredible ease. You are learning to speak new languages, both divine and mundane. You are being provided plans for buildings you don't own yet, and plans for empires you haven't built yet. These aren't simply dreams. They are missions to gather information. Your spirit is being sent forward to your future, to get the maps you need for the trip. When you wake up, you don't feel confused. You feel disoriented. It is the spiritual jet lag of a soul that is already moving between the transient present and the eternal. You aren't dreaming about getting away. You are practicing for when you get there. Number 6, the old season's money routes are drying up. That source of income that used to be dependable is now becoming less reliable. The customer that brought in 80% of your money is now moving their company to another location. The extra hours are running out. The budget is growing smaller. This is not a curse of not having enough. This is God changing the way you get your supply. God isn't taking anything away from you. He's putting your supplies in new boxes for the new area. You can't carry the manna that dropped in the desert to the promised land. It will go bad. A new rule means that a new delivery mechanism is needed. The anxiousness you battle is the dying gasp of the orphan spirit attempting to persuade you that God gave you the job, not the reason why. The pressure is a holy pressure that is meant to make you rely on the provider instead of salary. You're not going to lose all your money. You're being taken off of the milk of Egypt, so you may consume the meat of Canaan. 7. Your soul is being consumed by a heavenly impatience. You can't stand the chats you used to have. The talk hurts your skin like poison. The little tragedies going on around you right now seem like a child's play. You had to watch for 10 years too long. This complete annoyance is not a lack of affection. It helps you become more discerning. Your spirit is humming at a frequency that is too high for the low-level dramas of the kingdom you are leaving. You are becoming allergic to the dust of the location you are leaving. This impatience is the Holy Spirit's fire burning away the last of your patience with the desert. It is the motor of your exodus, and it won't stop until you cross the Jordan and put your feet on the ground of your inheritance. You're not growing less tolerant. You are getting more in line with God's fiery intended reality, which will not allow his beloved squander another second at a place that was just supposed to be a stop along the way. 8. The way you pray has altered. Tone and subject matter. When you speak to God, pay attention to what you say. God's petitions of request. Fix this alteration that helped me hear us drifting away. Prayers of declaration are taking their place. God, I accept my freedom. I order a miraculous speeding up. I summon forth the spot where I will live. Your prayer language has changed from pleading to giving birth. You're no longer bargaining with Pharaoh for improved living circumstances in Egypt. You're telling the Red Sea to split so you can go. This shows that your spirit has already accepted the eviction notice and is now totally on board with the relocation. What you're hoping for are not hopes. They are legal papers that are being filed in the courts of heaven to finish the process of transferring deeds and titles from your former life to your new one. You're not just praying, you're predicting your own death. 9. In the spiritual world, they're having a party for you that is going nowhere. The forces of stagnation are having a party out of desperation. They're using the flags of your previous failures to decorate. They're giving them alcohol that tastes like torture. They're toasting to your happiness and attempting to seduce you into choosing the comfort of the known jail over the unknown promised land. They're playing the worst memories of your life, attempting to get you to fall back into the same old pattern of losing. You've already gotten over the sudden desire to go back to the good old days, which weren't really that wonderful. That smell is their evil perfume attempting to get you to miss your shackles. But your soul can sense the decay underlying the scent. You're not going to that party. You're already wearing the bridal clothes of a fresh beginning, and you won't swap them for the burial clothes of a season that God has already declared dead and buried. 10. The angels of transition are already getting your things ready. You feel like you have a peculiar, supernatural sense of what to retain and what to throw away. A sudden, strong need to clean up your closet, bookcase, hard drive, and contact list. This isn't cleaning for the spring. This is wonderful planning. The angels in charge of your exodus are moving through your life, marking what is coming and what is being left behind. The emotional thing you suddenly don't care about at all. It was a sign of a time when you were in bondage, and your soul has been freed from the emotional weight of it. The part of you that wants to let things go is the part of God that is beyond all comprehension. It shows that your safety was never in those things, but in the one who is taking you to a place where you won't need any of them. You're not losing your memories. You're losing the things that kept you grounded and made sure you were always intended to go. 11. The plan for your present life is becoming clear. Take a look around. The buildings that seemed so sturdy are starting to show that they are only fronts. The people in charge appear weak and insignificant. As you trust it, the institution is displaying fissures in its underpinnings. The world is not coming apart. This is your spiritual location coming into perfect focus for 2020. God is drawing back the curtain on the Wizard of Oz and exposing you the sad little guy who controls the smoke and mirrors. He is making the design of the old system clear so you can see its wiring, its flaws, and its expiry date. This way, when you leave, you'll have no doubt and no desire to come back. You're not becoming cynical. You're starting to see. You still believe in humans. You are starting to trust God's judgment more, and it is now rushing through you like a river of fire, burning away all your false beliefs. 12. You no longer want the old manna. Things that used to make you happy don't anymore. The entertainment doesn't seem real. The meal doesn't taste well. The winds of the previous system seem empty and pointless. This is heavenly. Anorexia. God is starving your soul as you want Egypt so that you would be very hungry for Canaan's milk and honey. He is making the taste of bondage so bad that you will never want to lick the chains again. You're not having a midlife crisis if you're unhappy. It is a divine adjustment of your wants to bring them in line with the frequency of your future. You're not bored. You're pregnant with a mission, and your spirit's appetites are now for the nutrition of a new planet. 13. You already know how to speak the language of your new home. You're using new language, using new words of faith, and saying things that might have made you anxious in the past. This shows that you aren't merely moving to a new spot. You are changing into a new person, and the words of that new identity are coming up from your soul. You're studying the language that your ancestors spoke. There is no longer any doubt. Fear of man is gone. Your lips is now perfectly in line with the fate that has your name on it. Every pronouncement is like a decree that clears a route across the wilderness for you to come. You're not just talking. You are building the reality of your promised land with the words you say. The mist of grandeur has already left this place. The presence of God that used to soothe you here seems different now. It's not a presence that stays anymore. It's a presence that moves. It's not a cloud of splendor anymore. It moves like a pillar of fire. God is. It is not God's absence that makes you feel spiritually dry at your previous prayer places. His absence from a place is what it is. He has already left and is waiting for you to follow him to the fresh ground he has already set up for you. You're not being left behind. You're being asked to migrate with the cloud. Your desire for him to be there with you will lead you step by step from the barren to the plentiful. 15. Someone from the future is calling your name. Do you hear it? It's a tiny echo of your soul in the breeze. It sounds like your name, but with a level of power you don't have yet. It's the you that is already in the promised land, calling back to the version of you that is still in the wilderness and pushing you to go ahead. It's the huge cloud of witnesses, the future generations who will be blessed by your obedience, all cheering you on, asking you to break camp, to raise your tent pegs, to stop looking back. You are not imagining the tug you feel. It is the gravitational force of a destiny that is so strong and so perfect for you that it is physically pulling you out of the incorrect timeline and into the right one. You're not going. You're being brought back. You're not leaving. You are responding to a call that was sent out before the world began. So, you were picked. Give the peace of God that is beyond all comprehension. Be your proof. The noise in the distance is not a storm coming. The sound of the chariots of God arriving to take you home to yourself. Angels have packed your baggage. Fire clears your way. Your new address is printed in big letters. If this word was the key that opened the door to your spirit, and you felt the chains break as you listened, then you know what your spirit has to accomplish. In the sky, your like is a roar of agreement. Your remark is a testimonial that becomes a weapon of deliverance for another chosen one, listening in the shadows. Your subscription shows that you support this group of up-and-coming kings and queens. Like, comment, and subscribe to this forecast with the authority of someone who knows they are leaving soon. Now go after the cloud. Your promised land isn't there yet. It's calling. Dear viewers, your support through Super Chat and membership is the only source of income that keeps this channel running. If you want me to continue uploading valuable content without delays and to stay motivated in providing you with the best wisdom, I need your help. Every contribution, big or small, makes a huge difference. Feel free to donate and support Pure Wisdom so we can keep growing together. Your generosity keeps this journey alive.
If you're enjoying the content on Pure Wisdom and find value in the messages we share, I encourage you to subscribe. Based on the latest analytics, 93.9% of viewers are watching without subscribing. By subscribing, you not only stay updated with new content, but also support the channel's growth, allowing us to continue spreading wisdom for the chosen ones. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss an important message. Let's build this community together.